Thanksgiving is when we kind of get our little 3 day, 4 day break. Okay, so 3 to 4 day break coming on up, which is going to be awesome to get a nice little 3 to 4 day break, little vacation. And then of course this week we'll be doing our options boot camp lessons. All right, yep, Billy. As I said again, look right here, Bill. They will be recorded and placed in the Tradecaster video library. Um, so let's keep on working our way on down. Market briefing. U.S. stock futures will be pointing to a higher open Monday on Wall Street after the Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq gained ground on Friday, but still broke multi-week winning streaks. However, in the final trading week of November, monthly gains remain strong. So we could check this out right here over on the SPY. The SPY, guys, we are still bouncing off that 13 EMA all the way up towards around 312. Again, old record highs are right around that what is the old record highs? I want to say 313, but I don't know if we actually hit 313. Let's see. The SPY 52-week high is 312.69. So we're actually only about 63 cents away from a brand new record high on the SPY. Could that happen today? Possibility. Could it happen, later on this week? Definitely could. As long as we stay above that 13 EMA, again, we definitely have a lot of potential to see if this is going to be able to continue to move on up. As long as we stay above this green line, the SPY can continue to move. So, right now we are all the way up at record highs once again. We have consistently been seeing record highs and just getting higher and higher and higher nearly every single week. As we come down to the final days of November, we'll see how the market's going to shift in December. Last year in December, it was definitely a little bit iffy. Last year in December, what did we see right here? You could see December, we went from 293, or excuse me, December right here, we actually went from 280. And the month of December last year was, really, really bad. It was one of the worst months all year on the SPY, where it went from 280 all the way down to 230. Now, granted, it had about 2 to 3 months of a lead up of just fading before that dump. This is kind of opposite this year, where the SPY, as you can see, we have a couple months of running on up, and now we're even hitting new highs. So again, we have new highs happening now. Last year, we had, coming all the way down to lows. So, SPY, we'll see how we're going to do this year as we move into the end of the year where things do get a little hectic. But what do we know about things that get hectic? What do we know about things that get crazy? Well, that just means, money for us, because when things get crazy, that usually means a stock is spiking or dumping in one direction. Hey, we can either go long on plays or we can either short plays. So we can make money no matter what. Or options, of course, we can, do call contracts, or again, we could do puts, right? So call to be going up, put to be coming on down. Hey, don't worry if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to be going over that all in probably about like an hour and a half from now. All right, so that's going to be something that's very exciting going into our options very, very soon. All right. What else do we have here? U.S.-China trade talk headlines have been keeping investors on their toes. On Sunday, in the Chinese territory of Hong Kong, pro-democracy candidates won big in local elections in a signal that voters supported the months-long anti-government protests that have, at times, turned violent. All right, so again, just a little bit of U.S.-China trade talks. Obviously, investors have always been interested on that, and we want to see where it's going to be heading next. So let's talk about today a little bit more, right? Let's talk about the stocks that, we have potential to, go on nice big rips and nice big runs. I already talked about JAN, right? But let's dive into it and talk a little bit more about it, just for anyone who just signed on. JAN is clear cut, as we said, the number one top gainer in the market. It's currently up 165%, and the stock underneath it as the number two top gainer, SRNE, is only up 39%. SRNE is, a 92 million in float. So we're going from a stock that's 163% with a 1 million in float to a number two top gainer, which is only 39% with about 92 million in float. So there's a huge dramatic shift here. So where do you think everyone's waking up, and where is everyone going? JAN. As I said, it's very easy to kind of cross off what not to play, right? And I don't want you guys to kind of get sick of me, saying this, but as I said, ARAV, $25 spike last week. CGIX, about an $8 spike last week. We had KRTX, $130 spike last week. MYOV, $20 spike last week. What do all of these have in common? They all have under 5 million in float, right? Every single one has underneath 5 million in float. So let's think about that. If we're seeing massive $20, $100, $8 spikes on all stocks underneath 5 million in float, why in the world would we look at a 90 million in float, a 17 million in float, a 35 million in float, a 24 million in float, a 51 million in float, 55 million in float, and a 44 million in float? All these plays are kind of useless to us because we know, again, the past week, 2 weeks, everything that has been spiking has been a low float. So why would we look at anything bigger than that? So really, the only two things I even see worth our time are going to be JAN, and as you can see right here, APDN is starting to get a little bit of action as well. As APDN just started popping on up. JAN, this did have a press release this morning, which does give it credibility on how the stock can move. JAN again had a filing right here. It says an 8K. 8K is basically just an update on the company. And an 8K, as we talked about, has this agreement press release. Agreement, one of our great keywords that we always like to look for in these plays. Agreement is right here, 3-star word. And again, that always brings in hype. Agreement is two companies working together. It's a partnership, both expanding, of course, their company and helping grow their company, right? So that is something that we want to be watching out for. JAN, the pros about it, as I say, good press release. Pros about it, all eyes are on it. Pros about it, low float. What's the big con about it? I think this thing, as I said, can spike for the next 5 to 6 minutes. But my big issue with it, and again, it may turn into a possibly SAEX. SAEX, where the stock goes from 450 and falls all the way down to 250. Right? And why do I say that? Well, again, gap ups, very big gap ups go red, right? A lot of people always get confused with this. And I say this a lot where people get confused and they say, Deck, JAN, I bought this at 945 and it, turned into a big red candle on me. This stock, you said it had a press release towards it. You said the stock had a good float. I bought the stock because, I thought it was going to keep moving on up. You sounded so confident on this play. Yes, JAN does have a good flow. It does have a good press release, but the stock has already moved from 260 to $7. Just because the stock market's not open doesn't mean that this spike isn't credible. This is a real spike. This is a real move. Who cares if it happens now or happens at 9:30? The fact is, this stock has gone from $2 to $7, and buying at $7, buying at the stock when the stock's up 200% is definitely a little bit more on the chasey side, right? We have many examples of what the stock, of course, gapping up huge and then just dumping on down all day, right? So this is the money time. Right now, for the next 5 minutes, that's probably what we have left before we see at least some sort of pullback, right? So what am I looking for on JAN if you're saying, Deck, are you going to play this play? I can't play it up 177%. I'm not going to play it up 177%. This could be one of those stocks that obviously gets a little frustrating where maybe you see it go from $4 to $5. You say, I don't want to chase. $5 to $6. I don't want to chase. $6 to $7. I don't want to chase. I understand that can always get a little frustrating, but me, I went 5 for 5 last week. 5 for 5 last week. I went the week before that. I went 3 for 4. I made over $1,500 the first week. I made just shy of $2,000 last week. Right? I'm doing great with my trading right now. I don't need to change anything up and chase stocks just to put myself in bad positions. Is JAN one of the top ones I want to look at? 100%. Is JAN probably the play I'm going to most likely get in at some point today? 100%. It probably is going to be the play I'm going to get into. But that doesn't mean just because it's 9:30, I have to feel obligated to buy right at the moment it opens, right? So, I want to be smart behind it. As I say, it doesn't matter who makes money first. It's who makes money at the end of the day, who leaves their day with profit. If you make money already with all the people over on Profits Chat who made money on the way up, that is awesome. And I'm fired up for you. And I could not be more excited for you because you are the ones who are banking super early. And hell, you can go kick off your day and do whatever you want. And people are already making over $2,000, which is great. But the thing is, if you haven't traded yet, just because you hear ding, ding, ding doesn't mean you have to go, okay, I got to get in now, right? Wait for your setup. If that setup is a pullback, if that setup is a spike, maybe through resistance, if that setup is maybe looking that it would be, just again, don't feel obligated you have to buy just because the morning bell went off, right? So let's again, have the best game plan together and see what comes on up. All right, so JAN is going to be the number one top gainer I am going to be focused on today. Absolutely. But with that being said, I'm also keeping my eyes peeled over on MYOV. MYOV is one I really want to focus on today as well to see if the stock ever starts coming up towards around that $15 mark, just because I think there's so much potential on this play. Notice it's trying to get a little bit of this U-shaped pattern, kind of coming on up. We had a big time spike on last week. I believe that was like Tuesday or Wednesday, right? Wednesday. The stock started falling and it has held above its 200-day moving average. Notice it's trying to U-shape on up. MYOV did come out with one of like the textbook best press releases out there, right? What was MYOV's press release that made it go on this massive jump from $5 all the way up to $17? It did come out with announces a 97% response rate in positive phase 3, where it met its endpoints with 96.7% of men achieving sustained testosterone suppression, right? So if we have met our endpoints with phase 3 and 97% response rates, I mean, I understand why the stock gapped up so big. And now again, trying to U-shape and hold its gains, move its way back up above $15 plus. I think again, MYOV is one we got to be watching. So my top two plays I'm going to be focusing on is JAN and also MYOV. My big fear on JON is it's going to turn into something that looks like SAEX right here with the big red candle. If that does happen, I'm going over to MYOV. If JAN can find some support, maybe U-shape, try to do a red to green move, I can definitely look for an entry over there as well. But that's kind of where my head is at, right? That is where my head is at, and just kind of seeing what I'm thinking about today. But yes, I am looking at the low float plays. Those are the ones that are the supernovas. Those are the ones that can get the best rips. Those are the ones that can get the best runs. I'm looking at previous supernova at MYOV. It's at a positive phase 3 trials, and it's still holding its gains very well. And I'm looking at the best top gainer today, as again, all eyes are on this play. I'll be honest, as I said, I'm not really looking too much at AQST. That's not really, getting me going. It's not really getting me too excited. To be honest, right here, as I said about some other plays, I'm not really too interested over, on SRNE. It's a bigger float play. Do I think AQST could be a nice little uptrend or downtrend? Yes. Do I think SRNE could be a nice little uptrend or downtrend? Yes. I just think at the start of the day, we have higher priorities, right? At the start of the day, I think, there's stocks that are, a little bit better at the start. So JAN, MYOV, these are the top two. AQST and SRNE, these are other, two plays that are a little bit bigger in float, do have some solid news, and we'll see if those can, continue to move on up. Market is now open, guys. Let's see what we have to kick off this day. Again, right here, you guys can see it says no records to display. That means I'm not in on anything at this time. As you see, it's 9:30 right now. I just want to always show you guys that just so, just always want to be credible with everything I do. All right, so let's have a great Money Monday ahead. Zach, are you still watching mid caps? I'm not, penny stocks have been really hot. I'd rather play a penny stock than a mid cap. So that's why, I'm definitely leaning still a little bit more towards penny stocks. Mid caps were kind of like 2 weeks ago. And then from there, we saw penny stocks kind of start taking over, which is kind of better for us. Here's JAN so far, getting a pretty big drop. Might get a little bit of a $6 bounce play. But again, as I said, most people are going to lock in profits right at the bell. Most people are going to lock in profits right at the bell. Nice little $6 little bounce opportunity over on JAN. JAN, obviously, the number one play so far. A little bit of a fall. I was thinking about a possible little $6 bounce right there. That would have been nice. I just want to get all ready. So usually a lot of times, guys, when I'm looking for these plays, and I see like right here, people are buying 300 shares, 200 shares. People are selling 100 shares, 850 shares. I usually don't want to put like 1,000 share order because I don't want to not get filled. So whenever I do limit orders and I see like 100 shares, 200 shares, 300 shares, I usually do like 500 share increments. So that's kind of what I usually do, like 500 share increments. If I want to get in on 500 shares and another 500 after, kind of just take my time with it. And I don't usually do 1,000 shares at a time because I may not get filled with 1,000 shares. Rather just do 500 shares. It looks a little bit more easier and appealing. So right now, JAN starting to get a little bit weaker, starting to drop back down towards around the $6 mark. Big support's all the way back down towards around this like $5 area. I don't think it's going to come that low though. I think if anything, the best support line would be right around this like 560-ish mark. I think that would be a really nice one. And the thing is, it's like I would much rather if I have to take a loss on a play, I just don't ever want to take a loss at the top. If anything, again, I'll look for a dip buy 100%. I just hate chasing. I hate being a chaser, feeling like, oh wow, why did I put myself in that position? Yep, as I said, guys, the options lessons, they will be in the video library. They will not be on YouTube. Yep, they will be in the video library. Put it right here. They will be recorded and placed in the Tradecaster video library for our members. They will not be on YouTube. So right now, again, JAN still trying to hold on up, but we could see so far it has been a red candle. Starting to get a little bit more of a drop. I think support could be right around that 550-ish mark. And I'm also, as I said, I also just want to keep my eyes peeled over on MYOV to see if that's going to try to get any sort of red to green move and start getting any sort of action from there. I think that could be a little bit of a sleeper pick where we could see a little bit of momentum. JAN is getting a little bouncy. It's a little bouncy all over the place. We come down towards around 630, back up to 680. Up towards $7, back down to 650. So I mean, this stock is a little bouncy. It's like a little all over the place right now. As JAN still has the mob. JAN still has the attention. It still has the hype. It still has traders looking towards that play. But every single time, I mean, what's so great about a bouncy play? What's so great about an active play? If the stock's going from 630 and shooting back up towards 690, I mean, that's 60 cents you guys can profit on right there, right? Even if you have 1,000 shares, I mean, you guys can make $600 just from 630 up to 690, right? So, these bouncy plays right here definitely can make you some nice money in a very quick amount of time. You just have to be willing to pull the trigger at the bottom and then be able to realize, hey, once it comes up to 690, let me not get greedy and let me lock in some profit, right? So again, you can see, back down to 630, back up towards around that 690-ish mark. I am keeping my eyes peeled, as I said, over on MYOV, just because I think this play definitely has a lot of potential if it could ever U-shape up and around. Does have support back down towards around that 1420-ish area over on MYOV. So I do just want to keep that on, watch for a little bit, see if that one can creep its way on up, maybe get any sort of, potential. JAN just hit a new high. JAN just hit a new high. So that stock trying to get a little bit of momentum over there. But look at it, as fast as it spiked on up, this is the thing. JAN just ran all the way up to 704. Now it's starting to get its dump. Now back down to 570. So it just spiked on up. Everyone locked in profits. Came right back down to $6. So right now, I'm not in on that play. I'm not in on that play right now. You guys can see no records to display. Still don't have anything over on JAN. And as I say, if I'm going to buy JAN, I have no problem buying the stock. I just don't want to buy it at the top, right? I have no problem buying JAN. I just don't want to buy it at the top, right? If I'm going to buy JAN, I'm just going to get it in at the bottom. We have APDN trying to go a little red to green. I'm still looking at MYOV just to see. I want to see if MYOV is going to hold on up. I may just do a small order on MYOV. Might do a small order on MYOV, and if it ever came back down to 1420, I would get out. Or maybe I would probably say like 1412 or something like that. I would get out. But if it ever could U-shape on up, I think that would be great. So I am still watching MYOV on the bottom. That's why right here, still looking. See MYOV trying to get the little bit of a pop. Now it's getting a little bit high, up towards around that 1445-ish mark. That stock's trying to get a little bit of that attention, trying to get a little volume. And again, the thing I like about MYOV is it was a previous supernova, right? It was a previous supernova. JAN is trying to hold up right around the support line. So JAN trying to hold up right around these bottom support lines. JAN even cracking more. This is what I was nervous of, guys. What did I say? I was nervous that JAN was going to turn into SAEX, right? So JAN, I was nervous again. This play was going to turn into, SAEX. And MYOV, I was 2 seconds late of my entry right here. This play, MYOV, starting to get a little bit of attention, starting to get a little bit more hype towards it. And MYOV starting to get a little bit more of this hype, a little bit more of the attention, a little bit of the more mob towards this stock. MYOV, guys, I'm going in with just 600 shares, and I'm just going to hold this one out for a little bit. And I just think this one could, be able to make me some profit in the long run. So I'm going in small on MYOV. So MYOV, I just got in. I'm just going to hold out 600 shares on this thing. See if I can make, a few $100s. So again, I'm doing looking over there just for a little bit of a mob shift. Previous supernova, playing something a little bit smarter for me. And just like that, again, coming up towards around this $15 mark, we'll see if we could break 15 bucks. But yeah, I'm just gonna go for something a little bit less risky. I think something that can definitely make me some quick cash. And you can see a nice little U-shape pattern right here. Nice little U-shape pattern, looking for that $15 break. And 600 shares, looking for the $15 break. $15 is strong resistance. So I'm going over there. I was looking for JAN, but I'm just gonna hold this one out as we do have a little bit of that U-shape pattern set up. And there's $15 right there. Let's even get a little bit of a break on 15 bucks right there. And here we go. I'm just gonna lock this up right here. Here I'm up 300. I'm up $314, guys. $326, $325. Daddy's gonna lock up. Daddy just had a very good morning. $334. Okay. Hello. Money Monday is all complete. So, guys, I'm not going after the risky gains, right? I'm not after here. I'm not that hungry to go after some risky biscuits. I'm just here to make a little bit of profit, right? So MYAV, look at this. MYOV, I'm in on this play. Market ordered in. Let me see if I could, where are these entries and exits at? You guys can see the times. Yeah. So yeah, MYOV got in at 9:38, right? Right where I told you guys I was getting in. 2 minutes later, broke 940. We're all the way up at 515 right now. Oh, here it is. Excuse me. Average price 1463 right here at a 1520. I just was able to make off of this play $335. So that's the thing, guys. I don't need to play the riskiest play in the market, right? I don't need to play JAN, which I said is the riskiest play in the market. I would rather play something that's a little bit slower, but at the same time, something that's a lot more consistent. MYOV is a previous supernova. MYOV is a stock that had positive phase 3 data. MYOV is a low float play just like JAN. Do I like a little bit of craziness? Yeah. Do I like to get up a little bit and dance a little bit? Absolutely, guys. I get fired up. I get really excited. But I'm not going to put myself in JAN, right? That stock's a little bit crazy, just dumping on off. I'd rather play something nice, little red to green move. And as you guys know, I was kind of creeping my way over here. There's my entry time, 9:38. There's my exit time, 9:40. I don't want anyone to think I got in on this play at 9:30 or got in on this play. I got in on this play right here, right where it started breaking the U-shape pattern, right where I told you. So, awesome job for anyone, who got in on this play. I just made $334 $5 on this play, and now I am 6 for 6 on my last trades. I think I'm actually more than that from the previous week, but that's all I kind of remember at this time. So 6 for 6, $333. All right. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns on that play, it's a great time to ask, and you guys are more than welcome to ask. So yeah, so right now, JAN, where we at here? JAN got a little bounce right off $5 exactly. $5 had a nice little bounce. MYOV, I was just looking for that $15 break. I will post my P&L over in profits chat. Yeah, just saying making a little money right there. Shout out to Burrow. Burrow made way more than me. $2,140 on MYOV. Shout out to you, buddy. That is awesome. That is great job. Great work. So MYOV. And again, I still think MYOV has a lot of potential. I honestly think MYOV, excuse me, could be a possible swing trade. I think MYOV could be a possible swing trade. See here. Uh, Yeah, so no emotions on the trading. And again, as I was saying before, guys, I just didn't want to buy JAN because as you guys know, I just feel like I'm late on those, right? If I'm late, sometimes I nail them nice and early, right? Sometimes I nail them super early, and I'm feeling great. But if the stock's up $5, I mean, I'm buying that play with no confidence, right? I'm buying that play with no confidence other than I just hope momentum goes through. Has anyone ever bought like a play like JAN where all you see this massive rip, massive run, and all you're saying to yourself is, I hope this thing just keeps on going. It's like I just bought in on it. Please just keep going, right? That's all it is. And I hate being in that position where it's more of not me doing anything strategic. It's more of me just saying please, right? And whenever I'm just saying please, I just know it's probably not the greatest trade for me. So I mean, it's not about, as I said, who makes money first. It's about what you end your day with, right? So it's about what you end your day with. What again, you walk away with that, 9 o'clock, or excuse me, 4 o'clock. AQST getting a little bit of hype. Right now, MYOV trying to hold up $15 at this time. And again, last little recap right here. Again, the reason why I bought in on MYOV is because this stock was still holding its gains from last week when it had one of the best press releases, right? I said in pre-market, one of the best kind of textbook press releases there are out there. MYOV, positive phase 3 trials, 97% response rate, still holding its gains, right? Most stocks when they gap up really big, what do? Something like SAEX where they come crashing on down, right? Something like JAN where they come crashing on down, right? How's the other CGIX come crashing on down? Most plays that have big time gap ups do come crashing down after maybe a morning spike or so. MYOV, again, it had a little red day, but guess what? It was able to hold its gains and start moving its way back on up. That shows really good strength. That shows really good strength when stocks do that. So that's why I wanted to pull the trigger a little bit more over there than JAN. Wilhelm, shout out to you. $433. Ooh, almost me and you, same exact profit. Mr. Miller, $479. And Scotty, nice little profit, $100. So again, shout out to you guys right there on that play. I did post my P&L over in Profits Chat. I also just posted my P&L over on Twitter and StockTwits as well. So again, you guys can go ahead and check out that. Right now, let's look for that next play, right? Enough about, talking about this play. It's still early. Let's go make another trade. Who wants to, who else wants to make another trade right now? See what else we can get involved with. So right now, MYOV is trying to hold up $13, or excuse me, $15. We'll see if that play is going to be able to hold on the support line. And then from there, JAN is trying to get above around the 650-ish mark. So right now we're in a little bit of a channel. Let's, kind of channel this out right here, make it nice and easy to read. We have our blue support line. Red is going to be our resistance line. So we can see we have top resistance. This is right around what area? Right around this like 630-ish area. Bottom support is right around $5. A little bit big of a channel. You might say, Deck, can you put a little bit of a support line like right here around 575-ish? You could, but really like the main channel would be from, $5 up towards around 630. So it's really from $5 up towards around 630 is kind of the main channel I'm seeing. MYOV is just trying to hold that $15 mark at this time. We did see a couple, other slow plays, AQST trying to get a little bit of a pop. This is, again, all from the break of the open. And that's one of the best things, guys. When you break through the open, when you break and, start getting momentum, a lot of that comes from, the open break. We call that the red to green. When we fall underneath the open and we're considered on the red side of the open, what happens then? We U-shape, get the break, run all the way up towards around 760. That was one of the key indicators of why I pulled the trigger on MYOV. MYOV, look what we have right here. The stock opened up at 1460. Down, U-shaped, popped on up, went on the nice rip, went on the nice run up towards 1550. Notice the U-shape that is forming right here for that breakout. What does the open resistance, what is that resistance called? That's detailed resistance, right? How many different resistance lines do we have? Detailed would be the open, the previous close, the previous high, different indicators, 52-week high, 52-week low. The open is one of the greatest areas to look for a possible break, right? So a red to green move, that's again one of our go-to patterns. And if you guys need a little bit more work on red to green moves and you guys don't know why I pulled the trigger, again, just type in red 2, right? And you'll have red to green moves 2. Again, check out this one. This one's newer, right? So you have red to green moves. Again, that is absolutely great. 500,000. Make sure you check out Alerts Chat. There's all the links over in Alerts Chat, and also again in the morning newsletter. You'll be able to see everything right over there. But this morning, JAN, if it's not over there, I'll post it. JAN, this had an agreement towards it this morning. So JAN had an agreement press release towards it this morning, and that's what made that stock go on a nice spike. That's what made that stock go on a nice move. Burrow, a little shout out, buddy. Just you're in Alerts Chat right now. Just a little heads up for you. So there you go right there. All right, so MYOV. So now I'm looking for my next trade. All right, I'll be down to trade again. Absolutely. I'm up $335 right now. Let's push this profit over $500 today. So let's push this profit over $500 today, whatever you guys are. Let's add another 200 to it. So I'm still looking for JAN to look for the possible break of maybe 625, 630 for that rip and run. I may do a small JAN trade, maybe a small JAN trade. Coming on up. Let's see what I can do here. Hold on. I might do something really tiny just in case it ever started breaking back on up really strong. Let's see. Right now it's still starting to come on down. It's still coming on down a little bit. Maybe a little bounce play off these bottoms. A little bounce play on a few hundred shares. Nothing crazy. Maybe a few hundred shares. The crazy thing is, guys, I kind of love the fact that we don't get charged for any trade, because I could do like maybe 200 shares on a play, and now when I make like $50, it's actually $50, and these little gains, just add up. Before I would do a little trade, I'd make $50, and it would really be like $5 they're buying, $5 they're selling. If I did like 2 orders they're buying, it actually racks up to like $30. So I'm actually making like $20. But now that there's no commissions whatsoever, it's like if you want to do small little trades on small little shares and just do a whole bunch of them, I mean, that adds up, doesn't it? That adds up really nicely on the fact that, you could do, maybe 200 shares, make $80 and lock it in. Before, what would happen? That $80 would maybe turn into like $40. But you know what? Now the $80 is actually $80. If I could just do a nice little small trade and be able to make a quick little 60, $80, that pushes me right all the way up towards around $400 on the day. Crystal, no, nearly no broker has commissions anymore. Again, that was a big thing last month, right? About a month and a half ago, nearly every single broker, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Interactive Brokers, Robinhood, Webble, all those things, right? None of them have, none of them have any sort of commissions anymore. DMPI just released news. Little heads up, Platinum Trader, caps lock is on. Probably know that. DMPI, let's check out what this news is. Thank you for the heads up. Let's see here. DMPI. I do not see, let's see, DMPI, November 25th, 9:51. Positive interim data demonstrating favorable outcomes. Okay. So where do we have here? May want to look for a small entry over on DMPI right now. DMPI, is that halted? DMPI just get halted? Ooh, DMPI is halted. Okay. So DMPI is halted right now. Okay. So what did we have on our watch list last week, guys? We had DMPI on our watch list last week. You guys, let me show you that right here. We're going to be halted for the next few minutes anyway. So again, DMPI, this is over on my TradeCaster notepad right here. Again, this is our back burner last week. What do we have? DMPI phase 2 trials on November 22nd. That was on Friday. So again, Friday, November 22nd was the phase 2 trials. Well, they just came out with their news, I guess, right now. So again, that's why we do our watch list, right? DMPI. DMPI right here presents positive interim data demonstrating favorable outcome. It's showing promising free survival. That's good. Promising overall survival. Okay, that's good. So DMPI right now. I like it. I like it, DMPI. I'll post this link over in chat. DMPI. The Bengals. Shout out to you, buddy. Quick little $200. DMPI, let's see what we have here. I'm going to just make sure everyone's fully aware of this play. The stock is halted. It got halted at 952. That means the stock's going to get unhalted at 957 most likely. Okay? So this means the stock's most likely going to get unhalted at 957. Now, what are we going to do with DMPI? Personally, I may look for, see what, maybe like 600 to 700 shares right here once again. See if the stock's going to possibly get any sort of pop or run. So DMPI, I might look for a small order. I mean, I got nothing to lose. Again, looking for a little bit of a pop, right? I mean, DMPI definitely has the potential to go on a nice rip. That's a nice little press release behind it. Yeah, so again, it's been under $1 for a little bit. It's been underneath $1. I think it has room to run up towards around 155. I think, again, right here would be the target. DMPI is going to get unhalted at 957. So again, we kind of have, let's type this out a little bit, text. It's going to be our target, right? So we have our target right here. And this is kind of our target line. We're going to put this in green. This will be the money line. This is kind of what we want to get to, right? This is like what we want to get to. So we're going to see if DMPI, we can push up towards what area is this? This is at 155. So 155 is what we would like to get to. We definitely want to hold above $1. It may just be a quick little scout play for me because, again, I'm already in on this play. I may just want to look to get in and get out. That's kind of what I may look to do if I hop in on this play. So MYOV, or excuse me, DMPI, I probably will look to get in maybe 500 to 600 shares. We'll see as the stock opens on up. The stock should get unhalted in about 33 seconds. 33 seconds. The thing is, guys, it's just it might get a little crazy at the start. Things may be a little bit wild at the start with DMPI. So on DMPI. So just be careful. I'm going in on a little bit of smaller shares just because I don't want to lose my profit if the stock ever started coming on down. But I do want to give it a chance. Stop loss is going to be really tight. If you guys are a new trader, this one may not be for you just because it's going to be really, really fast. But at the same time, guys, again, there could be some profit to be made on this play. So just be ready on it. DMPI, let's see if this can hold up $1, start getting some activity towards it. So DMPI is currently right at 103, 104. And again, I am in on DMPI. I am in on DMPI right now with 600 shares, looking for a little bit of a climb. Want to see if we can break 110. My stop loss is going to be at 105. Stop loss at 105. It's below 105 right now. I am out. Gave it a chance. Gave it a chance. Gave it a chance right here. Just wanted to try to give it a chance. DMPI, I was in at 104. I got out at 101. So I am out on this play. I just wanted to give it a chance. It spiked up towards 112. I was just too nervous if it cracked for me. Just too nervous to crack for me. So I was in at 104, out at 101. Gave it a chance. If you guys are still holding, you guys are absolutely fine. If you guys are still holding, you guys are fine. I just wanted to make sure that I'm leaving my day with profit. But here it goes. All right, DMPI now starting to rip a little bit. I wanted to make sure I'm leaving my profit on the day. But DMPI now starting to get the rip. Shout out to you guys. Congratulations. Congrats to you guys. Again, awesome work. I had a quick little stop loss right there just because I wasn't willing risking it to crack on me. But again, congratulations on this trade. If you guys got in, DMPI, great work. Great job. So enjoy it. Creeker, quick $350 right there. Awesome job. And again, congratulations. So again, I had a quick little stop loss just because I didn't want to lose my money again, but at the same time, I just maybe had to give it maybe one more extra second. Let's see how high this thing's going to go. How much you guys going to make today? Arriba! All the way up to 125. All right, all the way up to 125 now. Keep going, DMPI. Pay the team today, right? We had people banking on MYOV. Now let the baby guys, the people with the smaller accounts, even the people that are just loading up on this play be able to make some nice profit. 125 is what we want next. So 125 has hit so far. Let's see if we can get a break of that. Break of 125. We're going to look for our target up towards around that 150-ish mark. London Trader can't buy an E-Trade? Yeah, you can. I just bought it on E-Trade. So again, this is E-Trade right here. DMPI, I was in at 104, and then again, I hit my stop loss at 101. So again, you can buy an E-Trade. Right now, 125 is our top resistance. Make sure, again, you guys are locking in profits as you guys go. Great work so far, though. Great job. Great work. The MPI, let's see where, again, we're going to be able to see if it can go on a spike. I would put my stop loss if I were you, though, at 110 or below 110. Bengal deck, why don't you like PEK? Nothing wrong with PEK. PEK is looking great. Again, PEK, nice slow and steady mover right there. I could put that right on the bottom level too. So PEK, nice slow and steady mover. I'm playing a little bit more, MYOV this morning just because I felt very confident in MYOV. So that's what I was looking at there. And then DMPI, this play again stole a lot of the attention because DMPI just came out with a press release, and DMPI is one that's been on our back burner list. So again, I think that one's great. PEK, the next big area that one needs to break through is going to be that $5 mark. But yeah, that's a great play. Let me check to see if that one has any sort of news and do a little bit more research on that one because, again, I haven't really even noticed that one too much today. So PEK or PECK. This play 3 days ago had a press release talking about an earnings report, and then its float is not available, which usually means it's a lower float play. So it usually means it's a lower float play. So again, PEK, low float play, getting a little bit of momentum, just needs to get above $5. But hey, nice climb, absolutely. So far, again, I played MYOV. I had a nice big win of $335 on that play. DMPI could have and easily could have got in on this. I just did not want to risk taking any sort of loss. So I had a very tight stop loss of 3 cents. And right when it came down to it, 101, I got out and the stock ran up to 125. Still, again, only 600 shares. I only lost about $20 on that play on DMPI, so I'm still well clear of $300 on the morning, but 1 for 2 on the day. Platinum Trader, $1,697. Ow! Again, awesome job. So again, great work. Make sure you throw that over in Profits Chat. I know, again, you guys love throwing them over in Talk Chat so everyone sees it. And again, I love it, but make sure you guys throw them in Profits Chat. Keep the chat nice and clean. But again, awesome motivation. Way to do it. DMPI, again, guys, starting to come underneath 110, starting to get a little bit weaker. So right now, we're kind of just moving through. We're kind of just moving through the list. We went from JAN, people making money over there. I didn't want to touch that one. We went over to MYOV. That was my money maker today. That's how I got paid. That's how I'm paying the bills. We went over to DMPI. Hopped in on that one. Had a very tight stop loss of only 3 cents because I didn't want to lose any money today. And lost $20 on that play. But DMPI actually did kept going all the way on up. And, you know, a lot of people were able to make some nice cash. But that one is starting to come on down right now. And right now, what can we turn our attention to? Now we can start turning our attention over to a new play, AQST and PECK. So we have AQST now and PECK. So we're just shifting, guys. We're going from one stock to the other. That's all we're looking for. We're going from one stock to the other. Great job, again, on all these plays that we've been doing. Little sign note, guys. I know that you guys do that a lot. If you ever hit up the blue box in the bottom right-hand corner, again, that's not me. If you ever want to talk to me, always just click my name in chat, and then you can send me a direct message, or you can just type out a message in chat. So I know, Jay, you just hit me up and said, hi, I usually use mental stop losses, but if I wanted to use an order, what type of sell would I use for a stop? I have option stop, limit stop, and trailing stop. I personally like trailing stop. Trailing stop would be my favorite one. And I think, again, that's the best one, especially for, you know, day traders, or especially people that may be a little bit newer in the stock market. Okay, so these are definitely very important. I like trailing stop the best, and you get to pick the price of what you would want. Go to the video library, of course, as always, and make sure you guys go watch, you know, free stop loss briefing or complete stop loss lesson. This one's probably the best one. Again, stop loss lesson. And again, a lot of times I like to use mental stop losses, but I also, again, if I'm going to put a stop loss in, I would use a trailing stop loss. So again, when you go to limit order, or excuse me, you go to a trailing stop, and you do trailing stop by money or trailing stop by percentage. I always do money, and I always just pick how long do I want it to go down. You know, 3 cents, 12 cents. You know, do I want $1 if it's a bigger play, right? So again, you always pick your stop loss on, you know, how big you want it. I don't usually do percentage as much. I'm more of, again, a money guy that says, hey, you know, if the stock falls back down, you know, 12 cents, get me out of it, right? So I like doing, you know, trailing stops, but trailing stops are great as it follows the stock as it climbs. Right now, AQST trying to continue to move on up. So that's still getting some nice potential over here. Again, PECK just gave back about $1. So PECK just gave back a good amount after hitting $5. $5, third strongest resistance line in penny stocks. AQST now starting to get a little bit of momentum. So AQST starting to get a little bit of momentum, starting to get a little bit of hype. Let's see what are good increments to buy at pre-market. What do you mean by increments? I'll be happy to help, though. Again, pre-market, it really comes down to first come, first serve. You know, and what do I mean by that? It's basically a race that whoever can find the best press release first. So, you know, how many shares should you buy in pre-market? I always do about 500 shares. So again, I don't want to do 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 all at once. You can get a 3,000 share order, but do it all in 500 share increments. Because if you put a 1,000 or 2,000 share order, most of the time there's not going to be enough buyers or sellers to kind of fill that all at once. I know that's not really that much to begin with, but it kind of just scares people away. So again, do 500 share increments. You know, if you're buying into the play and trying to, you know, you see a hot press release come out and you want to get into it, just again do 500 share increments like at the ask price, and you'll get filled, you know, really, really quickly. Right now, AQST slowly moving on up. This is a stock with, I believe, 11 million in float. It did have FDA approval. Was that this one? Let me see. AQST. What do you got here? AQST. AQST. Yep, this had FDA approval this morning. So we had, receives FDA approval, and that was a nice little play. This stock's starting to get a little momentum. What we could do, I see, what do I start seeing form right here? I don't see that arrow. Starting to see a little bit of an uptrend starting to form on this play. So I'm starting to see a little bit of an uptrend starting to form. That could be a slow and steady climber right here. Yep, offshore trader. I know. I like it. I can't say love. Love's a strong word, right? To love a stock, it takes a lot from me to, be in love with the stock. And, I wasn't even in love with MYOV. I just felt confident. I don't like to throw around the L word too much, okay? Sometimes I'll throw it around, but that means a lot to me, right? My girlfriend's been trying to get me to say that for years, and will I say that to her? Never. I'll say it one time, but I just again I always want to make sure that we're playing stocks that are worth our time. AQST, this stock is still slowly slowly moving on up. So this stock's slowly moving on up, nice uptrend. So AQST, this is one that's still holding on up. So far we've shifted around a little bit, right? So far it's kind of like we've ran the mob a little bit. It seems like, right? Which is awesome because we went from JAN, and what did we do on JAN? JAN, if sometimes I think about it, I always think about it as kind of like childish examples, right? I always think about it, as imagine like we're like the mob is a little bit like aliens, right? And all the stocks are different planets. You ever see like Independence Day with Will Smith? Like, what do those aliens do? They go from one planet, suck up all the resources, they blow it up, and they move on. They go to a new planet, suck up all the resources, they blow it up, they move on. Right? So like what kind of is happening on, JAN? All the traders go to JAN, they get all the money they can out of it, and then they say, "Oh, all right, we're all good. We dried this, plan it out as everything we could, and then we blow it up and we move on." Right? Then MYOV, what happens? Everyone goes over to MYOV. We suck up all the resources, blows up, moves on. Everyone goes over to DMPI. DMPI again, kind of sucks up all the resources, and it's not, us as well. It's everyone. Everyone sees these plays. Everyone was on JEN. Everyone moved over to MYOV. Everyone saw DMPI move on up. And now guess what? Everyone's going over to AQST right now, right? Everyone's doing that. But that's how, again, kind of the mob works. That's how sometimes penny stocks work, as everyone just wants to play the best play. But the thing is, you can't be the guy straddling behind everyone else, right? You can't be the guy straddling behind everyone else and says, "Hey, wait for me. Wait for me, guys. Come back. Back. Guys, over here. Wait." Right? Because if you guys are the person that is in last out of every single play, if you're the person who's last to buy AQST, you're the person getting dumped on. If you're the person last to buy JAN, you're the person getting dumped on. If you're the person last who gets in, so again, if you are late on a play, like right now, AQST, it's nice moving, but I feel like I'm the guy who's over here saying, "Hold up, wait for me, guys." Right? So I don't want to be in on AQST right now because I feel like I'm a little bit chasey. Right? Same exact thing on the reason why I didn't play on JAN. JAN, what happened on this play? Again, I didn't want to be the guy that was buying all the way up here. Because if I bought all the way up here, what would have happened on me? It would have dumped on down. And MYOV, I didn't want to be the guy that was buying all the way up here. Because if I was, guess what would have happened? It would have dumped on down. And DMPI, I didn't want to be the guy buying all the way up here. Because if it did, what would happen? It would have dumped on down. So you're either in first, or you're in near the beginning, or you're not in at all. Right? That's kind of how it's at. So I'm in 2 trades today, and the 2 trades I pulled the trigger on, were both me being in on the first group, in the first wave, in the first, amount of people getting in on that play, right? So that's what I always want to look at, guys. Those are the plays that I always want to hop in, the ones that I'm not late on. REPT. REPT was also a previous supernova. So we're gonna give it some time. Again, today, guys, is our Deckmar Trades options lessons or our option boot camp. All right, we're gonna be diving in on this over the next probably 2 to 3 days, and going over a lot of information. So far, yeah, so far I have about like 75 slides. All right, so we'll see how long it takes us to go through them all. You got 500,000 again. Awesome job. Congrats. Enjoy your profits, everyone. Enjoy your profits. We'll kick off our options lessons most likely in about 15 to 20 minutes, but it's still rather early, right? Still rather early. We're still all set right here. AQSD still trying to move on up. William, $390 on the day. Great work. Again, I know a lot of you guys are up in the green today. And again, that's the great thing about November, right? Yep, I will make sure I put all the lessons in the video library, guys. And again, that's the great thing about November. November is so hot, and it's the same exact thing for December and January. We have probably again, these core months right here as we come down to the end of end of the year and the start of the year. Some of my favorite times to trade. And why are they some of my favorite times to trade? Because there's just so much potential, right? We see so much ripping, we see so much volume, we see so much hype, right? We see these stocks again, going on great climbs. So when we see these, great climbs, it's really because everyone wants to finish off the year strong, right? And when we see we finish off the year strong, everyone says, hey, well now I want to start my year, right? My new year off strong. So we kind of finish our year off strong, and then people want to start the year off strong. And it's not only investors, right? It's also companies. Companies put out great press releases, all month this month and all month next month because they want to get their company at the highest point they can before 2018 because that's what goes in their record books on how they closed off on 2018. Did they finish up? Were they green for the year? So everyone tries to finish off great. So they're going to put out a lot of good press releases over this month and a half, things you guys do not want to miss, right? Also, again, as we start off the year, they put out a lot of good press releases. Companies are going to say, hey, let's start off with a boom. Let's start off with, a great rip. Let's start off with a great climb. And right, what are companies going to do? Come out with, press releases that get their stock moving, right? They come out with a big press release that shoots up the stock like 100%. That's a great way to start the year, where a lot more volume can come from that. So we're definitely gonna be seeing a lot of good hype and a lot of good potential over these next probably 3 to 4 months, and that's going to be absolutely great. End of the year gets really hectic. Start of the year gets a little hectic, but we love a little chaos, right? A little Joker status. We love a little chaos. Funny thing about chaos, it's crazy. So kind of the crazier stocks move, the more money we can make. The only con I have about this week is I do fear maybe on Wednesday, we're not going to have maybe as many big press releases. And why is that, guys? Well, again, we are going to probably see the stock market slow down a little bit as we go. And that's going to be because as we come up to Thursday, people are going to be doing what? Leaving Wednesday during the day. Hey, I got to go, travel. I got to go visit my family. I got to wrap up from work. I'm trying to get out of the city a little early, right? I'm driving home back to Pennsylvania on Wednesday as well. I'm probably going to be sitting in like 5 hours of traffic, right? Because everyone and their mother is leaving from New York City to go back to Jersey, to Pennsylvania, to wherever, upstate New York. Everyone's, kind of dispersing out of the city to kind of go home. So there's going to be crazy amount of traffic, on Wednesday, and people are going to be leaving early. Flights are going to be taken on off. And then what do companies realize? Companies realize that the probably volume on Wednesday is going to be a little bit slower, so they're not going to be putting out any sort of hot press releases. They want to put out hot press releases when everyone's focused on the market. Because when everyone's focused on the market, that's when we see some of the biggest spikes, the biggest rips. I say this all the time, but stocks move from people buying them. Stocks move from people selling them. If no one buys anything in the stock market, if one day everyone just said, hey, I'm not going to trade today, and collectively no one bought anything, the stock market would just stand still, right? Because if no one bought anything or sold anything, everything would just stand still. But there's millions and millions of people all buying and selling around the world. So, companies, try to always put out press releases during the best times. So as we come down to Wednesday, things may be a little bit lighter. So we really want to make our money. And if you guys have not pulled the trigger, definitely look to pull the trigger either Monday or Tuesday. Okay? So either today or tomorrow is when you guys most likely want to pull the trigger. Wednesday is going to be a little bit of an easy day for us, right? Thursday, no class, right? There's no school on Thursday, and then Friday's a half day, but I'm not going to be here. It's a little bit of a easy week here. So let's make sure we make our money today and tomorrow. We'll also be doing our boot camp lessons today and tomorrow. All right, so let's give this a few minutes. Let's see what's going on right here. How are the markets doing today? Are we up in the green? Ooh, the SPY is actually killing it right now. You guys haven't seen this, let me post it for you. I haven't checked out. We've been kind of bouncing around, having a lot of fun with our trades this morning. Those are the current markets right there. So current markets looking really good, really solid. We have right now the Dow is up 137 points, Nasdaq is up 85 points, S&P 500 is currently up